Welcome back, my creative cosmonauts. Before we rock it, what came first, the chicken or the egg? You know the drill, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. But really, was it the chicken or the egg? Land or water? GoBots or Transformers? Acting or voice acting? These questions used to keep me up at night until I ran into my friend over at GameCon, Carlos Ferro. You might have heard his voice in a few video games like Assassin's Creed, Gears of War, and you might have seen him on Star Trek Next Gen. It's been a while, so we finally got a chance to kick back and talk about things. Before we sit back and relax and dive into this very chill discussion, let's see what Sami has for us for Comic Book of the Day.
Hi Cosmonauts, this is Sami the Monster, and this is the comic book of the day.
King Arthur. You're a pretty reserved guy. You wear glasses, you're a little bit nerdy, but you're really cute, you play rugby, you're actually a museum curator. And your only family is your elderly grandmother who lives in a home for elderly people. Now one day, while you're on a terrible date, it's terribly awkward, it's going so bad, you get a call that your grandmother has run away. You find her in the middle of the woods. Grandma, how did you get here? And she's like, well, Uber. And you see she's actually digging something up in the middle of the woods. And what she undigs are a bunch of weapons of all different kinds. Grandma, what's going on? You're scaring me. And she reveals to you that she's actually an ex-monster hunter. And monsters are real. Not just monsters, monsters from mythology. Mythology and magic, it's all real. But Grandma, how can that be? You didn't even let me watch Scooby-Doo when I was a kid. And now all of a sudden Grandma is holding a gun to your face. Now does she pull the trigger? This is from the series called Once and Future by Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora. It's a comic book series. I read the first issue and I really thought it was fantastic. Now there's actually a group of people who have just stolen a scabbard which has magical properties, and this scabbard belongs to the sword known as Excalibur, and they are trying to resurrect King Arthur. They think it's going to save England, but in actuality, the prophecy also suggests that it might destroy it completely. And the Pen & Ink edition #1 just dropped this week for the series. So what this is they take the series, they strip back the colors so you can really focus on the artwork of the line work, and then they actually have exclusive commentary from the creative team. Find a local comic book shop near you. It's kind of a great way to sample the series. It's just like watching a pilot, and you can see if you like it, and if you like it, you can pick up the rest of the series. It exists in trade paperback form, which is like a volume, and you can find them at comic book shops as well as bookstores.
Ladies and gentlemen and cosmonauts, I'm here with the great, amazing Carlos Ferro.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Really good, Cosmo. Thanks for having me.
Dude.
I'm very aware of the Cosmo show, but being on, it's pretty exciting, man. I'm a fan.
It's an honor to have you.
Thank you.
So, okay, you've done voice acting from Assassin's Creed to Gears of War.
Yeah, I've been really lucky, man.
Yeah.
I'm the first one to say it. It's like you and we've run into each other at other conventions, but it's always really fun for me. What's never left me is the idea of people knowing anything I've done.
Yeah.
Because when you've been at it as long as I have, and it's been a while, Star Trek Next Generation, that's like over 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But people, us geeks, we remember and we care, and it means a lot to me. It shows. But when it's like colleagues and friends and people, it's really cool and really rewarding that you know my stuff, I know your stuff, and you're like a sponsorship guy, man. You have everything.
You just got to grab something that has no titles and make it your own. There you go. That's how you do it.
I like that.
So what do you like more? Do you like the acting side of business or the voice acting?
I tell people, and I don't want to be a blowhard here, but it has to be said that I've never met a voice actor that isn't an actor first. It's hard to communicate that to people because we are, in 2024, we're in a post-pandemic generation where people started these hustles that weren't as strong before pandemic, like Twitch streaming, YouTube channels. So yes, you can have a really successful voiceover career without going about it the way I did. I respect that and I understand that. I come from a very specific generation of voice actor and TV and stage actor, that the answer is whatever is employment, fellas. Like whatever pays.
Whatever keeps the lights on.
And it sounds a bit desperate and can be construed as a bit pathetic, but the reality is that the reason that I've studied or prepared in any way, and experience also is preparation for anything you do for the rest of your life, I've always considered acting acting the only thing I do, and producing and writing and all that is a part of creating your own material.
Yeah.
I've always been primarily an actor. Voice acting, I'm the first one that if there's that age-old thing about show business is 50% luck, 50% preparation.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, luck, there is no, for me, I count myself very lucky that the Xbox, the original Xbox and PlayStation 2, they didn't exist until I started having these auditions that were pretty dismissed by other TV stage actors, sort of like beneath them. But I'm such a geek that I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm gonna be in a video game being a bad guy to James Bond. Sign me up.
Forever immortalized.
But that's the beauty of what we do, of art, is that it is, your show will be forever, long after you're gone. So
that's awesome.
I love it all pretty equally.
I look at acting as everything. I did an episode with Kevin Porter, he's an actor, and I crossed it with cosplaying. Because some people, when they get into cosplay, they act and they portray as the person. And that's a form of character work.
Yes.
When you see a Deadpool, he's going to act like Deadpool.
Cosplay in its modern incarnation, it is an acting opportunity, brother. It's if you can stay in character. I've always been a fan of like costume characters at Disney World or Disneyland. I would say most actors fantasize of doing mask work so that we have all this freedom, that we're not stuck being how we look. Like even I would even speculate, Cosmo, that you feel freed by your eyes to be a little more loose than you would be if you didn't.
Yeah, if I didn't have them, I just wouldn't feel
Cosmo.
Yeah. Feel naked.
Yeah, and that's but that's what I'm saying. It's like on some level, my mask is my Gears thing and the blazer. I've had people say to me like they've asked me, not just in interviews like this, but at panels, they've said, you always wear, exact words, in front of like a couple hundred people. Carlos, you have a question. You seem to wear the same clothes at every show. And of course, I explosively laugh because it's totally fucking true. I wanted to look like either a Catholic priest or an exorcist.
How's your faith these days, Father? How's your faith these days?
Exactly. Power of Christ compels you. Just go full sacrilegious, Cosmo. Let's piss off every Catholic watching. No. So, but the reality is that I feel like you were saying your Cosmo show when you're working your shit.
Yeah.
My mask, if you will, is the Dom Father look, if you will.
It's your Clark Kent.
It really is.
Yeah. So after the pandemic, now we're back and everything's kind of back to normal. But now it's kind of like more competition because now anytime Dick and Harry can put together a sound booth.
I know what you mean.
It's
like...
I
think I'm gonna speculate here on the road you're going down, and that is that voiceover has become like a lot of people's hobby. Hey man, I don't stifle people's creativity, man. If you there's so many ways to get to the same kind of place, more or less. I mean, I've said it in various terms on your show right now, is that you and I have known each other socially to a degree because we have people in common, but we're both in the same place today, brother.
Yeah.
You're doing your show and I'm about 20 feet away signing autographs, being a big shot. I like to see people that I like doing well and hustling, man. I mean, it's show business is tough enough. It's nice to be around people you like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you were saying about people that have, every Tom, Dick, and Harry has a sound booth. Everybody's had a voice memo on their iPhone or on their iPad.
Very true.
And the quality's just fine. Whatever gets you there, man. I mean, that's whatever gets you there has nothing to do with acting. When I was coming up as a stage actor in San Francisco and anywhere else in this country, wherever I did plays, and this is for a living, I would have people kind of try to tell me what the right road is. And the road is different for everybody. The fact that you're being seen is the most important. Just because you have the tools doesn't mean that everything's gonna fall into place. It's hard to communicate to non-creative people what the grind is like, what the frustration comes from. What happens with rejection, and I teach every now and again, when I'm talking to advanced training program acting students, when I'm talking to voiceover students, if rejection is a problem and beating you up, show business is most likely not for you. I'm not gilding the lily. I'm not gonna pretend like, sometimes there's enough crossing your fingers and wishing on a star in this business, hoping for the best always, and the dream role. Every actor, for example, I'm sure you've felt this. your mind goes to this place of like, they could spin off a whole series about my character. My character was holding a pizza box.
Yeah.
There could be a place called Cosmo's Pizza Joint, and it could be on the same network. You did the audition, let it go, go to the next thing, get ready for the next job, prepare yourself. If you got time on your hands to worry and feel sad about rejection, you could be really channeling that into all kinds of writing and passion and creativity, music, putting together, organizing like meetups where creative people exchange ideas. I mean, all of that stuff is part of the soup of show business. But if rejection is your big problem, like, oh man, I don't know if I can take rejection. I gave myself 3 years to make it. And if I don't make it in 3 years, man, I don't know if I can keep at this. It's just too hard for me and my family. I'd be like, don't give yourself 3 years. Get out now.
Yeah.
Get out right now. And that's me trying to be like a humanist, trying to be a guy that looks after other human beings.
It's tough.
John Ford, the director, said, when you have a choice between the legend and the truth, always choose the legend. And Hunter Thompson had this statement that is now considered what he said. That's the legend. He didn't really say it, but it doesn't make it any less true. And that is that show business is where thieves steal and people make false promises and it's this laundry list of the horrible things of show business. And he says, and there's some bad parts. Okay? because this is the business. You either sign up for the business or you should get out because it'll beat you up, man.
Either you're a Ferengi or a Klingon.
Straight up.
Carlos, where can people find you?
My socials are not the real, just real Carlos Ferro on Instagram.
Nice.
It's the same thing on Twitter. Instagram, that's where I do most of my posting. And these days, for the Gears of War fans, I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff. And that's a good diplomatic, non-disclosure agreement way to say, look at my Instagram this week. It's going to be fun.
Did anybody make you the costume or have you ever worn the costume?
I've only worn it once. And it was for a Funny or Die short film.
Nice.
It was me and Cameo Nanjiani.
Nice.
And if you can find it, you'll thank me for it.
We'll probably be playing it after this when we find it.
If you got to find it. It's awesome. Kumail sent me a copy of it recently. He and I put this thing together, and I wore the COG armor, and it was the best. You look it up. It's about a kid who gets a make-a-wish to meet Dominic Santiago, and things aren't what they seem. It's really funny.
Carlos,
thank you, Cosmo.
So much.
No, it's just so fun, man.
I appreciate it.
And we'll do it again and again and again.
Yes.
And for your Gears fans, I say, sup, bitches?
Carlos, thank you so much for your time. It was awesome to catch up with you at GameCon. Please go support and follow Carlos on Instagram, and please check out his IMDB. And if you see him at a con doing signings and stuff like that, tell him you're a Cosmonaut and say hi. Find the show on Spotify for On The Go and Instagram to stay connected and can communicate with moi and become a Patreon member as well. Catch me on DELULU Canoe with Derek Taylor every Monday with brand new episodes. Check it out. What's your DELULU? Jackie's Kitchen, hosted by Jacqueline Gunner, and soon fan film reactions are coming to the channel. We just gotta tweak it. It's a lot to tweak. It's a lot of tweaking. Little things put here, put there, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, hey, I think it's almost done. You're like, no, it's not done. It's like, we gotta fix that. And you're like, ah, damn it. So we gotta push it back. But it's coming soon. I swear, I promise you, please. Our friends at BYO Lightsaber has given us an ultimate discount code for your whole purchase over at the website. 10% off if you use the promo code Cosmo. It's amazing. You can get yourself a stunt saber. You can get yourself accessories like, you know, the couplings and like the pummels and build your own. And then you can get a NeoPixel too for like $280 and whatnot, or you can get a Cosmonaut saber. That's awesome. The Cosmo Show's Cosmonaut Lightsaber. Actually, hold on 2 seconds.
2 seconds later.
Bada bing, it's sexy, it's purple, silver. When we reach 1,000 subscribers, we'll go out. There's a NeoPixel one, so 1,000 subscribers. Spread the word, help us out. And if you get a lightsaber from BYO Lightsaber, it helps us out too. Help out the channel, get yourself a lightsaber, let's have fun. Before I go and head off and get ready for the next episode, I just want to leave you guys with this. What came first? Love, peace, chicken, or grease? Oh, hey, you guys still here? The episode's over. You can tune in every other Thursday for a new episode of the Cosmo Show. I guess in the meantime, you can check on these boxes, see some more content. Yeah. Ooh, how did that get up there? Ooh.